Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Renee and I am a good enough mom. Every week I share tips and tricks about how to make my life simpler and easier, and I hope that these will help you too. And this week I'm sharing some of the things that we do in our family to try to save some money. Now we are all on different journeys when it comes to our finances. At the moment our family is trying to pay off our mortgage as quickly as possible because we hate being in debt. But you might have a different reason for trying to save money and to live more frugally. As I go through some of these things that we do to save money, you might be one of those people that think, I've been doing that all along. And that is great. It means that you've been saving money on something that other people have been spending money on all this time. Or you might look at something and think, hey, that's perhaps a place where we could save a few bucks. And then I'd really like to encourage you. It might be hard at first, but like any habit, once you get into the hang of it, it'll soon become second nature. But lastly, you might look at something that we do and think, no way, I am not that desperate. And that's okay too. We all have different priorities and choose to spend our money differently. But it comes down to being intentional when we spend our money. Thinking about each thing that we buy and deciding whether or not it is worth it to spend money on that thing. So let's get started. Here are some of the ways that our family save money. We don't spend any money on professional hair care. I've been cutting my family's hair for ages. Now I'm no hairdresser, so luckily my men like short top and sides with a pair of hair clippers. And all my girls want long hair, so I just have to trim the ends every now and again. I even cut my own hair in the bathroom mirror. And luckily we all like our God-given hair color, so we don't need to spend any money on dyeing our hair either. I think that over the years, this has saved us a ton of money. With my older children, I would get long pants and long sleeve shirts for the winter, and then in the summer I would buy short pants and short sleeve shirts. But what would usually happen is that at some point during the winter, they would develop holes in the pants at the knees. So what I've been doing is to cut off the pants just above the hole, and ta-da! Now I have short pants for the summer. You don't even need to sew a hem. Their pants don't seem to fray or anything and work perfectly as shorts for when the weather gets warmer. The to-do list at our house just never seems to end. Just as we get one thing fixed, the next thing seems to need attention. And if you need to call out a repairman for each little thing, then the bills add up really quickly. Yet so many jobs around the home can be done really easily with a little research, patience, and elbow grease. You can learn to do almost anything on YouTube these days. And even if you don't get it right and have to call out a professional in the end, at least you tried, and you would have called them out anyways. During lockdown, we've been sorting out a few things around our house that aren't difficult, but are really time-consuming, like varnishing our wooden windows. It would have been extremely expensive to get someone to do this for us because it takes hours and hours. So by doing it ourselves, we've really been able to save a lot of money. Next up is growing your own food. I love vegetable gardening, but realize it's a bit like gambling. There are so many things that affect your vegetables that are out of your control, and there is quite a steep learning curve. I do believe that growing vegetables can definitely save you money in the long run, but in the short term it may prove quite costly. But one thing I think anyone can do is grow sprouts and microgreens. Just a tablespoon of seeds produces a whole cupful of sprouts or microgreens in just a few days. And they are so super healthy. They are also very versatile. You can eat them just like that, or add them to salads and stir fries, or use them as a garnish to make your meal look like it comes from a 5-star restaurant. A few years ago, I decided not to pay to exercise. So no gym memberships, no personal trainers, and no exercise classes. We live in a beautiful part of the world with wonderful hikes and walks and scenery. We have great beaches and I love swimming and boogie boarding. And on YouTube, there is an endless variety of any type of exercise that you could possibly want to do. This way you can fit it into your schedule and ability, whether it's a quick 5 minutes here and there or a 2-hour long marathon session. I will put in a disclaimer here. My kids do private sports like karate and dance and gymnastics, but I do see that as part of their education and development and socialization. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. So now for the real deal. Today's real deal is a real serious type of a real deal. You know, my decision to save money can affect the people around me. It is good to be more self-sufficient. It is good to save money. It is good to do things yourself. But sometimes it is good also to pay someone to do something. My decision to varnish my windows or to cut my family's hair means that I'm taking money out of someone else's hands. And I think in this current economic environment where so many people are unemployed, losing their jobs, aren't able to support their families, I would much prefer to be able to pay someone for a job that they did than to give them a handout. So we are trying to save money in all ways that we can around our house at the moment. We think it's a wise thing to do. We don't want to be a burden to our parents. We don't want to be a burden to our children for the future. We want to be independent and be able to provide for ourselves. We don't want to be in a lot of debt. And so we really are trying to do everything we can to live frugally and to save money in every way possible. So in the long term, for now, we are trying to save money. But if we can afford to pay someone to do something, I think it is good for the community as a whole to support the people around us as they look for jobs. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a good week and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye.